So, welcome to Livestream Stars. I'm Ross Brand. This is the show where we feature talented broadcasters delivering high quality content across live stream platforms. And Livestream Stars is brought to you by Livestream Universe for everything live streaming. Check it out, livestreamuniverse.com. We also have a website just for this show. It's livestreamstars.tv, and you can see upcoming guests and view replays of past shows. And again, we appreciate everyone joining us here on Firefox. I can't thank you all enough for being here for our first show on this platform. But we're not staying here exclusively. On Thursday, we will be on Huzza at 7 p.m. Stephen Haywood of the techbuzz.net joins me for Ask the Expert, and definitely bring your questions. We can get multiple people on camera. So any questions you have about platforms, live video, audio, video gear, show hosting technology, there's a link in the chat to subscribe. For replay viewers, just go to huzza.io/Ross Brand. And our guest today is, after some struggles, we're so happy to bring him in. It's Chocolate Johnny, the great John Kapos from Australia, the owner of Perfection Chocolates and superstar with, 20,000, 25,000 followers on Periscope. More hearts than we can count. And also great on Snapchat, an entrepreneur, business advisor. Am I leaving anything out? Keynote
Keynote, not yet.
Everybody's a keynote speaker these days. Even if you do a breakout session in a side room, you say you're a keynote speaker these days.
And everyone is a lifestyle coach. Everyone's a coach. I love it. Yeah. I don't call them my followers. I call them my mates. They're 20,000 mates. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Thanks, Ross.
So your business has been around a lot longer than live streaming has been. Give us a little background on Perfection Chocolates.
Okay, so Perfection Chocolates started back in 1939 when my great uncle came to Australia, and he met two young English ladies who wanted to work, and so they opened up a little chocolate store where it currently is at the moment and has been since day one. And then unfortunately he passed away, and then my parents got involved. They'd been working there on and off. They'd had numerous businesses in their life prior to that. And then I took over of nearly 25 years ago when I had the opportunity to. But yeah, we've been going for that long. So we make all the candy, all the sweets, and all the chocolate, and have done. The recipes are old in books, and now they're in the safe.
So how did you get started with live video?
Live video. My gosh, it was funny you should say that, because I was just looking on our YouTube channel. I've got the Perfection Chocolates YouTube channel, but I started one. My nickname at school was Capey, so I started a YouTube channel called Capey. I did my first video, I think, back in 2008, or when YouTube when YouTube came out. It was some funny one with the kids. I don't know if you remember. I mean, I don't know how old you are, Ross, but anyone out there, if you remember Super 8 film.
Heard of it.
Yeah. Well, my mates and I.
It might just be because I didn't know that much about video when I was younger or film. So, but it sounds familiar.
Well, as a young boy, my dad bought me a camera and a Super 8, and I just remembered filming whatever I could. And then my dad, I did my first trip to Greece before I went to I was in high school before uni, and I had a massive VCR. It was this big thing plus the camera, and I carried it around with me everywhere. And then it just went on and on. And as soon as I know that I could put a bloody camera to my face and push the button, I went, yeah, I love this. So much better, so much easier.
That's awesome. So, then Periscope comes along, right? Was that, excuse me, was that the first sort of social video platform where you were, taking a cell phone, I assume, or were you on Meerkat? But
so
it was around the same time anyway, but Meerkat and Periscope came out, where were you kind of in your using video for your business when those two came along?
I was using the GoPro a lot. I was experimenting with a GoPro, just running around with that, putting it on whatever I could. So I was doing that for a few years, and then posting whatever I could, taking a lot of video in the store, but never really putting it up. I did a lot of video with a camera. I had a digital SLR, and I mucked around with that a bit too. I think it was March that I heard that there was Meerkat and there was Periscope. And, basically I flipped the coin, but I downloaded both. I remember downloading Periscope first when I heard about it. And to be honest with you, Ross, I can't remember how I heard about it. I think it was just through the App Store. And then I downloaded Meerkat. I looked at Periscope and that worked. And then I went to Meerkat, that didn't work. and then I went, okay, maybe I'll just stick with Periscope. I'll find out about Meerkat. But there was already traction on Meerkat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, April the 1st was the first time I did my first live Periscope, and I remember from where I did it from, and the rest is history, as Rachel says.
Yeah, but, Kim Buchanan says she remembers your first Periscope. Oh, those were the days. So do you remember what your first Periscope was about?
Yeah, mate, I did. I'll never forget. So I'm in the factory at the moment in a suburb called Banks Meadow. It's an industrial area. The store from here is about 25 minutes away, and I'm very fortunate. Thanks, Mitch. I'm very fortunate to drive along the coast. When the traffic's pretty heavy, I drive along the coast. And what I did, I don't know why, there's a little place called Gerlock Park. It's a beautiful part of Sydney. It's right on the water, the waves crashing, the rocks. It's a really nice Bondi Beach to Bronte walk. You walk along that. And I pulled over real quick and I said, you know what, stuff it, let's try it. I don't know why, but I just did it. I can't even remember the title, but I just pushed the start broadcast button. An hour later, I was still on. I was on there for an hour. People that I'd met from Instagram. I met Sue B. Zimmerman. I was in Creative Live. And people came on. I recognized one person. And I just kept on going. I loved it. It was, oh, g'day, how are you? Well, this is where I am. People were asking questions. And I thought, I like this. This really suits me.
So your story is sort of like what, the quote that I was using to promote this during the week was, you say everybody's got a story, go tell it, right? And the longer quote that's from, you talk about press the button and start talking. And that's really what you did. I mean, I guess you believe everybody can do that, right? Like everybody should be able to do that, right?
Everyone, I don't care. And I've tested this. People have come to me, oh, Chocolate Johnny, you talk about chocolate and you're smiling and you're this and you're that. And I said, that's bullshit. Seriously, do not tell me you cannot push that start broadcast button and tell me a freaking story. Anything. Something. You have a story and you need to tell it. And then that's where that quote came from. I had a lot of people starting to reach out to me. A few months later, I started building a reputation and people started to get to know me. And I don't know what happened. I just thought people were saying, well, what do I do? So this is the first thing I say to them. And I've been on stage and I've said it. The first thing I've said about live streaming, push the start broadcast button. Someone's going to watch you. Someone's going to listen. You have a story and they need to hear it. They need to hear your story. I've sat with people and I've said to them, I've got nothing. Tell me a story. Their mother recently died of cancer. Their father, just made a big multi-million-dollar deal. Their sister is a lawyer for a great company. They've just bought their first business. Their dog entered into a competition. There's just so much you can tell. And people I just spoke to 2 people on Blab the other day, and they were so thankful I said that to them. But it works. You've got a story, Ross. Come on, push that button.
Right. No, that's great. And to what level to what degree did you bring business into it, and to what degree did you just talk about yourself and your interests outside of work? Like what did you feel was the right mix when you were getting started, and kind of how have you kept to that today? Or
that's a good question. People are out there thinking, yeah, what do I do? And mate, honestly, I wrote a list of what I've scoped about, and I'll just read it to you. I've scoped about sunset, sunrises, my store, my factory, chasing my wife around the supermarket and hiding from her, which was one of the best periscopes I ever had. I scope about just because. I've scoped about nothing. I've written on like the Seinfeld thing. I just wrote, this scope is about nothing. I've written about the top 10 tips of, and then I just left it blank. It's like motivation, inspiration, just a whole lot of stuff. But I'm just trying to think. Once I got on, it's funny. It just evolves, and I always tell people this, and people out there who are selling a product, please do this. Build a relationship first. Do that. Give the respect to these people out there. Do the relationship first. Build a relationship first. Once you've built a relationship, you can build the trust. Once you've built the trust, you can build your business.
Right.
I never, ever said, this is what I do. For $49.95, you can buy that. Yes, and I will give you 2 carving knives. Apart from that, I don't do that. I get on there.
Get it now before the price goes up at midnight.
Yeah. In 2 hours, yes. The first thing what I do is, g'day everyone, this is Chocolate Johnny and welcome and blah, blah, blah. And then I got people, I engaged so much with people, they asked me, hey, what do you do? They'd write a question, what do you do? And what do you sell? And where are you? And wow, what's that? And then I would the call to action was, hey, guys, I've got a website. This is what we make. This is what I do.
Right. And was before you got onto Periscope and really, that took off, have you been able to kind of measure like your business from outside of your area, like whether it's regionally in Australia, whether it's, whatever your business base was right before to what it is now? What kind of expansion or growth have you seen? I mean, you don't need numbers or anything like that, but just a general view of what's possible. You know what I mean with live streaming and in terms of
what's
like
possible,
your reach.
I tell you what's possible. Perfection Chocolates has gone global, and 2 companies want to buy my product in the United States. I have sold products in the United States. My biggest sales are now coming from outside of Australia.
Wow.
And number 3, which is I'm really proud of, I've had as of today, 47 people from around Australia, around the world, come to my store. All because they saw Chocolate Johnny on Periscope.
Right.
So I'm thinking, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, there's a girl called Robin Schall. She's a comedian, and she came to me and she said, you know what? Everyone knows me on Periscope, and the first thing they said when I landed is go see Chocolate Johnny at the chocolate store. I'd never seen her Periscopes. She'd never seen me. So, my business has gone global, and I've built a brand called Chocolate Johnny. I mean, right. I've been called Chocolate Johnny for years, Ross. For years, everyone's known me as Chocolate Johnny. But now people want to buy the Chocolate Johnny hat. People have said to me, where's your T-shirts? And come and speak and, motivate us and inspire us. And so, live streaming has totally changed my world.
You're so good on camera and so good, telling stories, and your personality connects so well. Do you ever just think like, Maybe I could delegate more to other people and just become a broadcaster and do that every day. I mean, like, do you ever think like, okay, I could do a nightly talk show, or I could, I could MC some events or things like what do you see this going somewhere outside of taking the phone and talking to people and doing some shows like this? Or it's more a hobby or a part of your business, but it'll never become the primary focus of what you do.
You've got me thinking, Ross. You've got me thinking. I've done an MC work. A lot of my cousins and nephews and friends and know that I don't mind getting up there. I love the pressure. The most recent one was my nephew's wedding, and we had an amazing time. I've MC'd, I've DJ'd a little bit, but not much. Broadcasting, yeah, I don't know. Bloody hell, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I mean, getting up there in front of the camera and I don't know. Yeah, that'd be awesome. With Blab, and I'll be honest with you, I did think about, and I spoke to Jason Texter. You know Jason, don't you?
Right, yeah.
And he said to me, because I know he was working with Blab and stuff, and he says, mate, get on there. We would love to see a show by you or do something. And I don't know. Because I've never done it, and I'm happy doing what I'm doing. So many people have said, like yourself, you'd be great. It'd be absolutely awesome. I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to do it. I'd love to try it. Would it? I don't know. I don't know, mate. Ross Brand has got Chucklo Johnny thinking.
All right. Well, that's a start, right? You got to start with a thought and an idea, and then Kim Buchanan says about you, he's real. Doesn't have to think about the answers because it's real, it's true, and he's authentic.
Oh, thanks, Kim.
So now that you've established yourself really well on Periscope, you're also doing a lot on Snapchat. Talk about how you use Snapchat versus Periscope, how it's different, why maybe we should follow you on Snapchat if we're already following you on Periscope, that kind of thing.
All right, so two different platforms. Gosh, Snapchat, I've been on it for nearly 4 years, Ross. People find that really hard to believe, yeah. I downloaded it because my kids were on it, and that's a way I connect and stay plugged in and switched on with my children. Snapchat is to me, my two favorites are Periscope and Snapchat. The funny thing is, Periscope for me over the last month has been shut down. My phone provider Optus is struggling with it at the moment, and I can't broadcast. I'm struggling to broadcast. So, a lot of people are missing out on my Periscopes. They're saying, where are you? Why aren't you scoping? Why aren't you? So I'm looking at now changing the provider so I can get back on there. I find it really frustrating. I usually scope from this factory, and people love seeing the chocolate and that. So with Snapchat, why didn't I tell people that I was on Snapchat 3 years ago? Well, unfortunately, Snapchat had a reputation of being quite.
See, it had other uses at that time.
Ross has heard the
use case wasn't promoting your business or your personal brand, right?
That's correct. Well, you could say it was promoting you personally, but yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. There wasn't a good reputation out there, and in fact, I had many incidences in my store where I'd say, "Hey, you guys on Snapchat?" and they look at me and go, you're 50. Well, I'm 51, but this was a couple of years ago. What are you doing on it? You're an old man. Why you can't Snapchat on it? You're too old, and you're a perv." And I'm thinking, holy cow, that I was devastated. Absolutely devastated, because I know I'm so techie. I'm a nerd. Really, I'm a nerd deep down. I love all this stuff.
Trying to figure it out and see what it's all about.
Yeah. and I got on it, and and even from there I was just Snapchatting. Anyway, I built a bit of trust with some of the customers. Remember, I've got the store, and it's around a lot of the schools, and I told them, Mono, can we follow you? And they built the trust. It goes back to building the trust, building the relationship, and building, my business. And then as it got on more popular, my boys got involved more, and so we'd Snapchat together. We had some really good fun with my two sons, and thank God, Gary. Well, this is my thought that Gary Vee invested a lot of money into Snapchat, and as soon as Gary Vee says you got to get into Snapchat, well, of course his shares skyrocketed and everyone's on it because Gary Vee's on it and sees the benefit of it. I did a discount code for my store 2 years ago. So a discount code was, I got on my Snapchat account and I did, hey guys, it's Chocolate Johnny. If you the next screenshot, the next snap is going to be a discount code. Bring it into the store, and you'll get 20% off any product. And that worked. I had five people on it come into the store, and I went, well, if I could do a Snapchat discount code, imagine when this thing really starts to rock and roll. And the next thing you know, same again, because I. You know what? I'm bloody good at it. I'm bloody good at Snapchat. I'll say I'm good at it. I love it. I'm creative. I think of out of the box stuff, and people once again say the same thing, Ross. Oh, you do it so well and you can do it with chocolate. Well, I told a dentist how to Snapchat and he said, what am I going to do? I said, you know what, mate? Make it bloody funny. Everyone is shit scared of going to the dentist, aren't they? And he says, yes. I said, make it funny. How am I going to make it funny? Get your staff involved. Wear a bloody friggin' funny hat on there. On his mask, draw a face. I said to him, draw a face, a big smile, and do that. And go like that. And it looks, and he says, oh, wow, he rang me back. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. And I said, get your tools and write the word Snapchat in tools, get toothpaste and put it on something. And he says, oh, wow, that's good. I said, mate, you just got to think out of the box, climb out of that. Snapchat is like a big cage and we're all in it now. And I said to this guy, get out of the cage, hop on and shake it. And so everyone can see what you're doing.
Right. And a lot of people are still, a little shy about Snapchat, not sure. They're just using it as a messaging platform, right? One-to-one, send a message that way, instead of picking up the telephone or, sending a text or whatever. But they're unsure of how to do stories. And they may be comfortable on Periscope because, at least with Periscope, they just turn it on and they keep talking, right? And they get tired of talking, they turn it off. But Snapchat, you have to think in sound bites. You have to speak in 10 seconds, right?
A story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Mm-hmm. 10, 20, 30 seconds.
There you go.
There's three Snapchats, a beginning, a middle, an end. There's your 30 seconds. Try that once. But what am I going to Snapchat about? I don't know. Think of something. Think of something. Well, yeah, think of a guy going for a walk. I don't know. Just you can start off really slowly with just three 10-second snippets. And of course, you can do it 5 seconds. You can do it, 8 seconds. You can do it 3 seconds, whatever. But it's you can do a story for three. Just start it with 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then build on that. Then, even if you have to do your own little storyboard, like get a piece of paper and go, okay, today I woke up, I got in the car, I went to work, finished,
Right.
Do it that way. And then add,
go ahead.
No, you go.
No, you were making a point and I jumped in.
I was just saying, you can add music to it as well.
Right. And how do you do that? I think I know, but I'll let you share because I haven't actually done it, but I've been told. But go ahead.
Yeah. So pick what I do is pick your music first. All right, and have a look at the scene that you want to do. So I did a sunrise one today or yesterday. Play the music on your iTunes account or your Spotify. So play it so the phone you can hear it. The phone you can hear it. Mm-hmm. And then go to your Snapchat and just push the button to record. That music will record onto your Snapchat.
Excellent. So you just keep that app open, you don't shut it, and you let it run underneath Snapchat, and the
Yeah,
music will continue playing.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
you use Spotify, or what do you use?
That's a good question. My kids want me to get premium Spotify so they can have it, and you pay for it. I use iTunes, and if I can't
Oh, that's
find the
right. You could
music,
use iTunes too. Yeah.
yeah, I use my iTunes. I go to my music. So I just go to my music, and then I go to the iTunes store if I can't find anything. But my kids want me to go to Spotify.
Yeah, that's a lot of options. The only thing that isn't an option is YouTube to play a music video, to get the music from the video, unless you subscribe to the higher tier level on YouTube, because you get, at least on my, I think I've both Android and iOS. If you open another app, YouTube, you don't hear that anymore or whatever. So, um,
Yeah, Rachel just said I need to get some songs set up on Google Play. Yeah, you can, Rachel. On Google Play is easy, or Spotify with Android as well.
So now, what do you do in terms of repurposing your broadcast? Do
I,
Catch isn't
I,
around anymore, right? So what are you doing with your periscopes or your
well,
Snapchat?
Periscope I think saves now.
Hmm.
And to be honest with you, now that Catch isn't around, I'm not sort of worried about it. I'm just going to wait till see what happens with Periscope, because when I've downloaded it all onto my YouTube, it was all skewed the wrong way and it was upside down, and so I've got it all on my Chocolate Johnny YouTube channel.
Hmm.
I don't know if people are going to watch it. It just doesn't look right. It's all upside down.
Right, right.
So I'll just wait. I really would like to repurpose some of it. I wish I've actually saved all my periscopes on my phone, and they're all in the cloud. And I'd love to one day go through it all 2,000 or whatever they are, and just grab snippets of it and repurpose it that way and put it onto my YouTube. But with Snapchat, what I do is I put that on Slinger and just download it onto my phone. I just make sure I save everything, Ross.
Right,
Just
right.
keep it.
And now that shoot, I forgot what I was going to ask. That was such a good answer. It really is so important to save everything, because
Yeah.
even just a moment, right? 30 seconds, 10 seconds of magic within a 20-minute scope or whatever can be something that you can repurpose, you can use, you can even use for your business, you can use, to introduce a new broadcast, whatever. You just never know when you're going to use it. But what do you find is the topics that have received the most positive feedback for you? Like, is there a certain scope or two that you've done that just, people went nuts for, and maybe you weren't even expecting it, but the topic?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, sometimes, you know what, Ross? Sometimes the nothing scopes, where we just talk about nothing, and then all of a sudden a subject will come up, and they're quite good. The best one I've ever done, I think, was watching the 2000 and I was on an island in Sydney, and I got a really, really beautiful view of the Sydney Harbour Bridge fireworks, the New Year's Eve fireworks. That was fantastic. I didn't think I'd get that many people on there, but that went ballistic. Sometimes I have fun with trolls. I love my chocolate trolls. I just love it when they come on, and I just yeah, I got not featured, but I got trending because of I invited all these trolls to come on. I didn't think I was going to trend, but it was funny. What I usually do is once it gets really bad, I tell all my usual friends on there, my mates. I say, look, guys, you can leave. Don't come on. Because this is going to get pretty nasty. These guys are really going to let loose, and yeah, that's really good.
It sounds like you enjoy it, though. Like, you're almost like, okay, bring it on. I can handle anybody. Like, that's kind of like there's a lot of stand-up comedians like, oh, I got a heckler. Something different to work from. The same script.
Yeah.
I don't have to use it anymore. This is going to be really good.
Yeah.
Now I can rip out the material that I wouldn't have even brought out even for a late-night audience.
Yeah, it's true. I've got, I've got a troll. I've got to tell you, I've got a guy. I know it's a guy. I've got a guy. His name's the Real Chocolate Johnny. And he's created a Twitter account, and he gets on sometimes, and he's not a nasty troll. He's actually quite a good bloke, because he doesn't say anything rude or crude. I'll say, yeah, I was established in 1939, guys, and then he'll write, well, I was established in 1938, 1 year more than you. It's like, he says, he'll type in, I say Perfection Chocolates. He says, no, we're Perfection Chocolates. You just think you're an erection chocolate. And I'm like, and he'll make me laugh so much. He'll just type in stuff. He'll take the piss out of me, and we'll just have so much fun. He's a really good troll, and someone said to me, God, if someone's imitating you like that, you've just, you've made it. But it's got, I do enjoy it, Ross. You know what, mate? I don't take my bloody self seriously. Don't take yourself seriously. I love taking the piss out of myself. I've put on some weight, and I'll take that. I've started going grey more. I'll say about that. I know my eyebrows are too long, and I'll say, and people just love it. And
wow.
and if people want to laugh, Ross, people want to laugh. That's what I do on Snapchat. I say to people, if I don't make you laugh, tell me. And I do sometimes a couple of serious things, and I've got a couple of characters as well. And there was one, actually, now you remind me, there was one, I took my kids to basketball. My younger son, Spencer, plays basketball. He's 13. My older son, both go to the same school. And we were fortunate enough to play at the same school. And it's a beautiful school right on Sydney Harbour, but on the other side of where I live. So their school sees the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. I said, bingo, here's a great chance to do a scope. They were playing. I saw them, got on there, jumped on, started scoping, and I was saying to everyone, look where I am. They're going, oh, Chocolate Johnny. It was quite a lot of people. I think I had maybe a couple of hundred people watching me, and they were like, oh, Chocolate Johnny, where are you? I said, oh, I'm here at the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, someone gets on. I said, oh, g'day, Peter. How are you? And he writes, where are you? And I said, that's so funny. He says, no, where are you? I don't know where you are. And we all stopped. It literally, we all believed that this guy actually said, where is Chocolate Johnny? And from there, we're in stitches. I had people coming back to me and saying, Johnny, that was one of the funniest scopes ever. Because this guy, here I am, I'm scoping like this, and in the background is the Opera House. I mean, you have to live in a bloody cave. And I was just cracking up laughing. Ross, there was tears coming out of my eyes. And people were saying, Johnny, are you okay? And I was just laughing. And then people around, because it was a touristy spot, were looking at me. And I was showing them looking at me. And it was, that was funny. It was very, very funny. So, I love it, mate. I just took the piss out of myself. I don't care. And I've had guys, say stuff to me. I don't mind. I don't mind.
Now I remember the question I wanted to ask you. Because you are having trouble with Periscope with your provider, have you used Facebook Live at all?
Yeah, I use that. I was fortunate enough. I was one of the first to get the tick of approval for Facebook Live for Perfection Chocolates, Chocolate Johnny, and John Kapos. In fact, I've never ever used Facebook Live on my personal account, but I use it on Perfection Chocolates and Chocolate Johnny, and that's I got to tell you. Gary, what's his name again? Zuckerberg. What's his first name?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Sandy.
Yeah.
Mark, whatever his name is. Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg wants. Here's my quote: live stream domination globally. This guy is, mate. He's firing out all can. He's pumping money into it. He's doing whatever he can, and I've seen results. The thing is, it stays there forever. If you go to my Perfection Chocolates Facebook page, I did one the other day, and 1,100 was it? So many shares, so many views, and I'm thinking, holy cow, Batman! I mean, that's just crazy. Where do you get these numbers from? How does it work with so many numbers? Here we go. 1,300 views, 2 shares, 9 comments. It reached 2,500 people.
Wow.
It was about, I don't know if you can see it. It's about popcorn, chocolate popcorn.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't get that. I did the same sort of scope. Did I get those numbers? No way. Did I get more signups? Definitely. So yeah, Mr. Zuckerberg's going to be definitely, give him credit. Give him definitely credit.
Are you thinking that even when you have Periscope back, you're going to focus more on Facebook Live? Are you going to try and feed both audiences because there may be different audiences? Are you going to do the two phones in each hand? What are you thinking is the way to go for you?
Well, what I'll do is I was lucky. I got a TW broadcaster. One's got the iPad on it, and I used the iPad to do my chocolate scopes.
Right.
So what I do is I just leave the iPad, I stream music to the Periscope, and just sit there for an hour. All you see is just chocolate flowing. That's it. and it's funny, Ross. People come on and talk to each other. So what I'll do, and what's the decision, is that I'll do both. I'll do Periscope. I'll do live. I'll keep doing Periscope. Our main focus now is on Facebook Live because that's part of the business and I can see really monetizing with it. But then the new ones come along called Busker. I don't know if you've heard about Busker.
I've heard of it.
So I've started using Busker. I've started using Busker. It works really well. The quality is fantastic. And guess what? I can make money from it straight away. So there's a little tip jar. I've never asked anyone for money because I don't think for me, it's worth it. But when you touch the Busker app, down the bottom, there's 3 little hearts pop up. One is you can give a tip. One is you can like it. And the third one is a shopping one. So these guys are already going to implement shopping. And I think our mate Zuckerberg's going to be looking at that as well, where you can buy straight away.
Have you seen Huzza? It's HUZZA.io. Yeah, they've got something similar where you can tip, you can buy, you can actually have your own shop there. It's more of a desktop talk show kind of. It's more like a Blab style thing than a one to many. But that seems like that could be a trend that a lot of platforms are going, is to help people who are broadcasting monetize, sell products, get a dollar here and a dollar there, from tips and things like that. So, it might be worth it just to keep that chocolate stream flowing overnight and let the tips come in.
I don't know. Yeah, you'd be like, I mean, I don't want them to pay for that, but
right.
I mean, you got me thinking. I might just put it on there. I've never done one on Busker. I've done heaps of them on Periscope, and they're really successful. People love them and think they were good fun, and everyone had a good laugh on it. But yeah, I don't know. So what did you call it? Huzza? Who's it?
HUZZA.io.
Yeah. So yeah, I know all these guys need to start making money, or they're not going to be doing it well, are they?
Yeah, they're very new. Not sure how old, but they're just getting started. They've talked about some features they're going to be bringing and everything, and I'm going to be using that for my show on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Okay. So the link's there if anybody wants to subscribe. We'll see how that goes. We'll compare notes between that. Fire Talk. Zeph Sand's going to test out tomorrow at 7:00 Eastern Spreecast. So I'm going to probably drop into that and see how that goes. And the search for a Blab replacement continues.
Yeah, I know. A lot of you guys who are doing broadcasting aren't happy with Blab at the moment. So it's just, you're finding it, I think, a bit unstable. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting what's going to happen.
Have you thought about doing, I know you mentioned that Jason from Blab had talked to you a little bit about it. Have you thought about doing more like talk show style stuff, interviews and things like that?
Yeah, I'd love to. I really, yeah. He mentioned it, and you've just mentioned it. A few other people have said, you'd be great being a talk show host. It's funny. I many years ago I was asked to come on to a show in Australia called the Mike Walsh Show. It's a talk show, and I thought, unfortunately, I couldn't go on. I actually got very, very sick. I got a infectious disease that nearly killed me when I was going to school and uni. And because it was a rare disease, I got it. They asked me to come on, and I think that's where I sort of thought, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. But that was, when I was 18. Now coming back, maybe I'm destined to do something on the. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I think, and I'm happy to say this. I'm not afraid to say this. Sometimes I think I'm just not good enough, and I think we all have a bit of insecurity. I've been interviewed quite a lot over the last 2 years. I've been on many podcasts, and now I've been on Blabs. I've been on, you're the first Fire Talk interview. I've been interviewed quite a lot, but I don't know. Sometimes I think, am I good enough to even do what you do? So
I can tell you that, I mean, I live in the New York area, which is sort of the big market in the it's the biggest market in the United States. Sort of, you're better than the people who have been on the air for 25 years here. That I can tell you're better than. I can tell you that right now. And I was never in TV, but I worked in radio for 10 years. So I can tell you're better than a lot of people who are making very good living doing broadcasting.
So should I pack up and fly to actually, can I be, Ross, I've always wanted to open up Chocolate Johnny stores because our company's called Perfection Chocolates.
Right.
But I would love to open Chocolate Johnny stores in New York. We were there, my wife's from Montreal, Canada.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
And I thought, imagine the Aussies over there. I'd employ all Aussies, so we'd all say, "Hey, g'day, how you going? What would you like? A hot chocolate, a mocha?" Jay Garrett saying Chocolate Johnny in Austin. One day, Jay Garrett, you'll see me there.
So
Tommy Willis.
Let's get to the question on everybody's mind. How do you identify good chocolate? When we go to the store tonight, and we go to a restaurant, we try chocolate. How do you what is it that differentiates, without giving away the secret sauce, the secret recipe that's involved? How do you identify good chocolate? What makes the difference?
What, mate? It's the same thing as a good wine. You and I both have different palates and tastes. Tommy's on here, Claudia's on here, Kim's on here, Jay's on here, Big Bad Brad's on here. I could all line you up together. We could put 3 chocolates down, and you could all have different tastes. The palate's so different. But you want to look for a chocolate that is smooth in your palate. If it feels like silk, when you put a little bit in your mouth and let it melt. If it starts feeling like silk, but it doesn't stick to your palate or your tongue, you don't want it sticking. You want it sort of like smooth and just melts beautifully. And the aftertaste is really important. You want to make sure you have that chocolatey cocoa taste. If you're eating a dark chocolate, you want to make sure that the taste is maybe an earthy, raw taste. If that's in higher cocoa content, and a milk chocolate, make sure you don't eat really, really low quality a compound chocolate, which is mainly a lot of oil. You want to make sure that there's not too much oil in there. Make sure it's not palm oil. You want to make sure it's cocoa oil, because palm oil is not that good for chocolate. The main secret for good chocolate is that it's conching, the process of conching. So the longer that they process the chocolate, in other words, it goes in the mill with little marbles or a big roller, and they make it microscopic. So it's really fine. So that's why when you try Lindt, that type of chocolate, or you try a lot of the European chocolates, they make sure that it's processed a lot longer. In the US, it's a totally different story. So if you came to Australia,
that's why we need you to open up a store here.
Open up a few, mate. I'd love to open up a few, not just one. And then I could do my broadcasting over there. I mean, look, You got me thinking, Matt. I love being on stage as well, Ross. I love motivating and inspiring people. I love getting up there, and I'm not your typical, mate. I get on stage unprepared. People will say, "Can you?" I'm totally unprepared. And do you know what? The first thing I say to them is, "Hey guys, this is totally unprepared. If I sound like crap, I'm really sorry. But if I don't make you laugh, then you can get up and leave." And they start laughing. Like, okay, well, it looks like you guys are staying, so let's go. Let's do
awesome.
this.
That's a great open. So what's the most popular item that you have at Perfection Chocolates?
We make a product called the Mellow Rough. So desiccated coconut is very fine coconut. And so my production manager, James, cooks the coconut to its golden brown. And then we leave it overnight in a big bucket. I mean, we usually cook so we hand stir this. So it's in a big pot, 20 kilos, 11 kilos. It's about 22 pounds each time. So we do about 22 pounds. And we leave it overnight in the pot. So because coconut's got oil in it and it cooks itself, still cooks. So you cook it to its golden brown, and then we let it keep cooking overnight. In that same time, we've also made marshmallow. We make our own marshmallow. Now, our marshmallow is not your what you guys are used to. Our marshmallow is just really fluffy. It's not too sweet, but it just melts in your mouth. And then we use our milk chocolate. And Jenny Q's here, and she knows some of my products. She's been very fortunate to try it when she interviewed me on her show. And then what you do is you get all three. You make the marshmallow, you get the coconut, and you get the milk chocolate. So the marshmallow's in a nice little rectangular square. We get the chocolate. This is all handmade. We temper the chocolate. You put the marshmallow in. You put the coconut. You roll it in together. So you've got. It actually looks like not the prettiest of things, but once you eat it, it is amazing. So it's the coconut's in the chocolate, covering the marshmallow, and that is one of our best sellers.
Wow.
If I could produce that in tons, I would ship it all over the world. People will love it. When they come in, they just like, "What the hell did you put in it? Crack or something?" Yeah.
Crack or something.
I put crack. I put I'm a legal drug dealer. That's what I call myself. I do that on Snapchat. I've got a character called Johnny Chocolate. I don't know if are you on Snapchat, Ross? Are you on there?
I am, but I got to admit I don't use it that much.
Well, you should just watch people. That's my advice. Just watch people, and you can learn from there. But I've got a character called Johnny Chocolate, and he's got an accent. And with Snapchat, you can take a photo of something and put that face on your face, the photo. Anyway, it's he's a chocolate dealer, and his name is Johnny Chocolate. So don't muck around with him, you know. And I just put this voice on this face, and we deal with the Oompa Loompas. Be careful, because my Oompa Loompas are my carriers, and we'll make sure don't muck around with me. And so they will have fun with that. And then I've got a new character called Vanilla Chocolate, and she's a drag queen. So I do that voice as well. Yeah. Her name's Vanilla Chocolate. Hi.
Yeah. You're too funny. So how big of a team do you have there working, making the chocolate, selling the chocolate?
488 Oompa Loompas. No, I'm joking. Gosh.
Pushing the chocolate.
Yeah. That's enough. Yeah, electrocute them.
Try some. Yeah. Try a little. It's free. Try a little. Oh my God.
All right,
I need some every day.
Olympus. Yeah. Back in the pen. Yeah. I've got a staff at the factory. We got five of us. Brad, Australian slaves. We've got 5 of us here at the factory, and on and off about 6 at the store that have different shifts and that type of thing. So, yeah, there's a few of us around.
Wow. And tell us, those of us in the States who might not be familiar with Australia, tell us where, you're located in Sydney, what kind of what the
Yeah.
area is like. We've seen you by the beach. Kind of give us a little overview.
I live in an area called Rose Bay. It's right on Sydney Harbour, and it is really. I'm very fortunate enough when my parents came in. It's a really beautiful area. Um, most of my customers are in the some of the wealthiest people in Australia. When you live 2 kilometres away and they buy houses for $30 million, they're going to come to the famous chocolate store. I've had, my customers are really, really loyal to us. We live in a great area, like I said, and I've had, the rich and famous. I've had a really long list of famous people buying my chocolate.
Very funny. Tommy Willis says nobody this funny can own his own business. It's a law here in the States, I think.
Thanks, Tommy.
Oh, that's awesome. So, do you come to the States often, or?
I was in January. I came in January,
For the Periscope Summit, right?
Periscope Summit, which was mind blowing. Honestly, I lost 10 pounds in a week.
Wow.
I lost 10 pounds because I've put 20 on now. But
I've lost so bad you didn't eat for.
I just do you know what, Ross?
I can say
I was just doing so much. I was averaging 3 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep a night. Wow. Because I was meeting people. If I knew you were there, I'd meet you. I made the effort to meet people and to meet my friends on Periscope. People came not just to see me, but people came to the summit to meet people, the scopers and that. And I made sure that I sat down with 10 of my mates, and they're like, "Oh, can we talk, Chocolate Johnny?" And I said, "Yeah, of course you can." And the next thing it's 2:00 in the morning, and we're talking, and people would come and go. So it was lovely going to San Francisco. I love it. It's been twice. I went there the year before to be on Sue B. Zimmerman's Creative Live Instagram show. My wife's from Montreal, Canada, and so we tend to try and go to Canada every 2 years to keep that side of the family happy. Right. We were trying to see if we can go this year, and every time we go to Canada, we always come home via New York and stay around for a week, or fly to LA and stay there for a week. So if we do a trip, we're definitely staying, because I've got my mates there, Goldberg's there, Waxman's there. There's so many people in New York that I've created friendships with. I mean, you're in New York too, are you?
I'm in New Jersey, but very close to New York City.
Oh, mate. Are you
so when you come,
definitely. Mate, when you come, well, I'm hooking you up, brother. We're going to have a coffee together. We'll go have a hot chocolate, and we'll dissect it. We'll go, okay, Ross, this is not the right way to have a chocolate. We'll get some chocolate, and we'll sit there and we'll shoot about it.
Awesome.
But yeah, I love it. I mean, I love the States. Everyone's so bloody friendly, and everyone's a crack up, and we just piss ourselves laughing every time I go there. I don't drink alcohol, so when I go to a bar, people piss themselves laughing, saying, "You don't drink alcohol? You're an Aussie." I said, "No, I don't drink alcohol for no other reasons than I don't enjoy it."
Not even a Foster.
No, not even a Foster's, mate.
That's Australian for beer, according to the commercial they run here.
Yeah. And can I tell you, it's not the most popular drink in Australia. There's some really good beers out there, Victorian Bitter and Crown Lager, and there's so many great stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I know you got to get to work, and it's the beginning of your day there. Thanks for sticking with it, the technical issues, and
no, that's cool, man.
I was so glad. This was so much fun, and I look forward to meeting you in person and perhaps chatting again on the air as well. So thanks so much. ChocolateJohnny.com, perfectionchocolates.com.au. Is that right?
And if you're not following me on Snapchat, it's Choc Johnny. Don't follow Chocolate Johnny. He is...
He's an imposter?
No, I think he's a porn star.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I'm not. So I just make chocolate.
But Periscope, Twitter, everywhere else, it's at
Yeah,
Chocolate
Chocolate
Johnny,
Johnny.
right?
At Chocolate Johnny, yeah. Thanks, mate. Bryce, I appreciate it. And everyone out there making the comments. Thanks, guys. Sorry I didn't read everything, but I really appreciate it. And you guys are awesome.
Thanks, John. Thanks so much, everyone, for following me over here to Fire Talk. I really appreciate it. Thursday night, we're going to be on Huzza.io/Ross Brand. The show will be Ask the Expert. The guest will be Stephen Haywood from the techbuzz.net, and we'll be talking all about live video and checking out that platform as well. So thanks again, everybody, and have a great evening.